Welcome to the Kiwi Chiropractic podcast. My name is Andrew McCracken, and today I have with me...
Hi, I'm Yasmina.
And we also have...
Hi, I'm Maaike.
All right, so we've got Maaike and Yasmina with us today. Maaike is a chiropractor here at Kiwi Chiropractic. And Yasmina is actually also here at Kiwi Chiropractic, not as a chiropractor, but she's actually the one in charge of the whole thing. And she's our practice coordinator and, COO, we can say as well.
Yes.
And Yasmina's here not today to talk about that. Today we're going to talk about running. And we want to talk about, what does it take to do running successfully from a body perspective? Why Yasmina got into running? Yasmina runs probably the biggest community group here in Düsseldorf for running. So she is absolutely, I would say, addicted. But we'll talk about that. So Yasmina, do you want to? Yeah, I'm correct. Yeah. Do you want to just introduce yourself a little bit and what brought you into this chair today and why you're running?
Oh, that's a lot of questions.
Well, what brought you into the chair was me.
No, I've been running now for 16 years. I got into it first basically as a de-stressing activity. So basically just get out of here. It's actually quite easy. You just need shoes and a bit of clothes. And everybody who's been into running now knows, no, it's not as cheap as I say. It's actually quite expensive, but we're not getting into that now.
Okay.
First of all, it was easy.
Yeah.
Then I had it, as a de-stressor in my life. And in the last 3 years, kind of like a community aspect came with it. So me and Hannah, we built a community, like you just said, a running community here in Düsseldorf, which is called Hype Collective. And
awesome.
We meet every week on a Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Yeah, and if you haven't been there, you should definitely go. It's crazy, it's intense, it's fun. It's I mean, what I love about it is like one of the values that we put across at Kiwi Chiropractic is also community, right? And to have 100 to 150 people gathering live in person on a regular basis is pretty cool, and I just Yasmina's motivating / screaming at them to continue running as fast as they can for those intervals. But I've heard it's also for beginners as well.
Yeah, so basically every pace is welcome.
Yeah.
Everybody can just do their own pace. But as we are quite a lot of people by now, everybody finds a group to run with and to be maybe pushed by one or the other person. So that is kind of nice. Nice dynamic.
Yeah, I think in terms of reasons that people run, I definitely would agree that I would almost say most people it's for some sort of stress release. Is there any other major reasons that people run?
Athletic goals.
Is it fun for some people? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Nice. Okay, so that's the reasons. Maybe let's talk about some of the common problems that you see, and maybe we can talk about those from a chiropractic perspective, but also because you're also a running instructor. Is that the right term, running instructor, or
running coach,
running
trainer,
coach,
maybe something
coach
like
trainer?
That, yeah.
So what would you say would be some of the common problems that people have with running?
Mostly by doing too much too quickly. So what you often see is classical things like shin splints, knee issues. So most of the time it's the IT band that is triggered and not stretched thoroughly. So that puts pressure on your knee. You might have trouble with your hips because you have a disbalance in your body. So running is a very repetitive activity. So you always say, like, in a best case scenario, you do 170 steps per minute. So if you sum that up to, I don't know, a 2-hour long run, that's over 20,000 steps that your body is taking.
You're good at maths, I can see that.
I prepared.
Yeah, okay, she's prepared. She brought her notes. How many is that in 3 hours? No.
Now you go.
I've got no idea.
No, and exactly. That is, I think that's the problem with running, actually, and why it's so prone to injuries, because you have that very repetitive pattern. There's lots of how do you say it? Lots of pressure to the body. Like when
Belastung.
Exactly.
That's where German is a better language for
words
like Belastung. Totally.
It's like Belastung, exactly. Yeah. You have those, when your foot is hitting the ground, that is just like putting all those pressure through your body. if anything is then disbalanced or not in line, that is affecting your whole body.
So maybe Micah, then if that's from the running coach perspective, from the chiropractic perspective, when a runner comes in to work with you, what are the things that you're looking out for the most?
Well, to be fair, I'm not looking at a runner any differently than anybody else who comes into practice. Mostly is we want the brain and the body to be connected, making sure that your brain always knows where your body is. Imagine that your hips are not aligned. The information cannot go through your hips. And what you said, you do those 20,000 steps, or you're a beginner and you do those 5,000 steps, but you still have that repetitive motion, you will have the hips that are not in the right position, putting a lot of stress on your hips, on your knees, but also going through the spine. So in that aspect, looking really at chiropractic, we will still look at the whole, because who knows, it comes from your neck, but you're feeling it in your knee.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good point. I think it's what's also a lot of people don't realize is, so obviously with running, the vestibular system is really involved, but also all of the feedback from the body to the brain. So every joint you have in your body is sending information up to the brain, telling it where it is in space and what's happening. And especially some of the latest research talks about the upper cervical, so the upper part of the neck, those muscles up there and the alignment basically of those vertebrae up there has a huge impact on your overall balance and body perception. Actually a lot more than your hips. So you may be coming in with, I think very regular problems people have when they're running incorrectly or too much. Could be the ESG or the hips or the discs or all this kind of stuff. But absolutely, looking at the body as a whole. And I think for me, with a runner, I'm always curious when we do the balance tests. Because we're doing these, they should be pretty simple balance tests in practice. Can you basically, with your eyes closed, walk on the spot without rotating one way or the other? And the amount of runners where it's actually terrible because they're just used to going sideways. And it's something I've said before, Yasmina, is could you run with your eyes closed and go in a straight line? Because technically you should be able to do that, because when you're running, you're not looking at your feet the whole time, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're not. And I'm spoiled because I did one of the balance tests here. And I figured, at least back in the days, that I could not. Yeah. So I did the balance test with eyes closed and like marching on the spot. And I didn't stay on the spot, which was quite interesting to see. Because usually as a runner, you would actually... At least you have the impression that you have a very good feeling for your body because you move it quite often. But it's actually quite shocking to see how you are maybe even, I don't know, kind of don't really realize what some parts of your body are doing while you are doing the exercise.
And that would be like just also for all sports people, but especially runners, I think I would love people to start investigating in their mind and in their body. When am I working with my body, and when am I pushing it too far? Because as we all know with sports, you have to push. Sometimes you push through that wall, you break through, and it's like, oh, it's amazing. But one of my mentors did this big research project with Olympic athletes, and they found that the athletes that had the longest careers and most successful overall and least injuries, they had this way of kind of working with their body, and that's, I think I told you the story of this athlete in New Zealand who he would always win all these adventure races, and they said, like, Steve, what's your training technique? Give us your training plan. And he said, my training plan is I have a training plan, and if I wake up and I feel like shit, I do nothing. And if I feel like I'm feeling great, I'll double it. And so he's really bringing into this kind of this static training plan, a very adaptive kind of component, because you'd always wake up feeling different. And I think it could be like a superpower, actually being in touch with that, with the body.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because, you could basically say that's how I got here into the practice, right?
Yeah, that was actually going to be my next question, so go ahead.
Yeah, nice transition.
Oh, very good.
No, so I actually got here because I saw one of your posts on Instagram where you talk about your running journey.
Back when I was a runner, right?
Yeah, except back when you were a runner. And at that time, I actually had a bone bruise in my foot. So I wasn't able to run for 3 months. I wasn't able to really walk. So I cycled everywhere. It was really painful, not as nice. And the day I got it, I was like feeling like shit.
Yep.
And I should have done it like the guy you were just mentioning and be like, no, maybe I don't go for a run. But I was like, yeah, come on, it's on the plan. Just give yourself a bit of a push. So I went there and I actually pushed myself to start the training, but I didn't even push during the training. It should be an easy run, but suddenly I felt the pain, and unfortunately it was not just something muscular, but something more long-term, which really hit me. And I saw a very nice quote the other day, which said like, the body whispers before it screams.
Love that quote.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. And I think what I learned throughout my chiropractic journey was basically to be more aware of what is my body telling me, and not like what is it capable of, because I tend to really push myself and see like, oh, what am I capable of? I really want to see it. I really want to push it. I think, sometimes there's a chance for motivation and to really push yourself, but oftentimes you should just go back and be like aware of what your body tells you, because sometimes it's not as loud as your motivation probably.
Totally, and it's a tough balance. And I wonder if it's particularly tough as a runner, because you might be doing it to alleviate stress, or you might be doing it to kind of, it's also so trackable, because you can go, okay, last time I was at 5 minutes 30 and now I'm at, and so it's numbers. Whereas if you're playing football or something, you still can just go and play with the team, and you're not tracking your performance so heavy, which I wonder if that's part of that.
Yeah, it's actually quite interesting. Like I said, I ran for 16 years, and I think for the first 7 years I didn't even have any tracking device, and I was never injured. So, and I did five runs per week, so I did a lot, but it was always like very intrinsically motivated, and I listened to how I feel today, and I didn't know how fast I was going, so I just went however it felt right, and that was basically the key for not getting injured.
Yeah, it's amazing. Maybe Micah, if I just come to you, have I asked you what the main problems are that runners get in practice?
Yes.
Have I asked you that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely in the German version, but
in
also
the German
today.
version. Yeah, we're recording this
Yes.
again in English because
Yeah.
the German version was interesting.
No, I think we already went over it, the things that we really see in practice, that it can also be really up in the neck.
Yeah. I just wanted to talk a little bit about like how, because disc herniations and stuff, which are massive things that people get, but they're actually super common, and they're also part of a degeneration process. And people need to understand, because they're like, I got a disc herniation. But like, where did it come from, bro?
Yeah.
It came from build-up of stress and the body not like
performing correctly.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to say what you were saying, like you've been running for 17 years, no problems, and then out of nowhere it came. But just looking in practice and looking at how the body works, it never is just out of nowhere, just like that disc herniation. It is not by that one run, it was not by putting on that one sock. It's really that accumulation of things going on. And also what you said with the whisper of the body, I love that sentence as well, because in practice we see that as well. It's not, a symptom is not a bad thing, it's just telling your body, hey, I'm not okay, something is going on. Let's take a look at it, what's going on, instead of I'll run through it, all good. So these are actually really funny things you're saying, because we see a lot of people these days have that mindset. Yeah. Have you experienced a difference since you've been here, if I may ask?
Yeah, it's actually, just on that note, because I had to really laugh at that, it's actually pretty common for runners to be like, no, I just push through. I know it's painful. It's actually considered as a good attitude to push through the pain, or to be like, come on, let's go through it. And like I said, sometimes motivation and just go a bit further can actually help you achieve your goals, but not always. Like you really have to listen to the basics. So yeah, what I definitely got into since I'm in chiropractic care is to listen to my body a bit more carefully. Like I was the first person who got very impatient as soon as I was injured, and I think everybody who listens to that and knows me knows that as well. So I tend to be much calmer and much more forgiving with my body if something is not right. And that's kind of nice to see. So I know that if something feels off, that I don't push through it, so to hope it gets better, but actually just take a step back, reassess everything and then go back into training after I'm sure like what is going on.
So just on training, what would be like as a running coach? What would be some of your key tips for people to recover, to do their recovery, recovery sessions, or when they're not running, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think first of all it's very crucial to make people aware that running causes micro traumata in your body. In your bones, in your ligaments, in your muscles.
Mind? No.
That's a big trauma. That's not a micro trauma. Nah, joking. But like your body really has to recover from all that Belastung that is going through it by running.
Again.
Exactly.
Yeah. Love it.
And there's a reason for rest days, actually. And I was the first person to skip it, but actually you can do so much more damage by skipping them, like compared to what you gain by pushing through. And so basically good nutrition, like get the right proteins, carbs, whatever in there so that your body has everything it needs to restore the structure. That is definitely key.
So, but I just think you just hit on something massive, which was view running as basically in actually all sports, even yoga to an extent, you're actually putting belasting, you're actually damaging the body in the short term, and how it regenerates and heals from that is what gives you the improvement, right?
Yeah. And that's super interesting because I just said that running was my de-stressing activity.
Exactly, yeah.
And I think that this is where it collides for most of the people because you see it as, oh, it's my de-stressor, but actually, like objectively, it also puts stress on your body.
So mentally de-stressing, physically potentially stressing. Yeah. So sorry, I interrupted you a little bit. What else would you recommend for? Obviously, there's a rest day. What do you do on this rest day?
I'm not the expert in it.
I know. That's why I'm trying to give you the chance to come up with it.
Yeah, like I still try to find my perfect way for regeneration and recovery.
Yeah.
Don't laugh at me.
But I mean, Germans are like massive fans of like saunas and stuff. Is that something? I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely good.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan myself, so I don't go as much. What I figure is actually like on a general training plan, not for recovery. I highlight that because, like I said, I'm still working on it. But to make my training a bit more sustainable is actually not to go only for runs, but to have a bit of a cycling in there. Also very important, and I also want to highlight this, is strength training. So like pump your muscles up, like while you run. Go to the gym, heavy weights. While you run, like 3 or 5 times your body weight can actually push on your body, like when you do the fast sessions. And you need to prepare your body and your muscles for that, and your ligaments and your bones and whatever. So actually put the weights on, do your squats, your deadlifts, your whatever, make your core stable, everything that holds yourself together so that you don't. So that nothing breaks.
And I think that another thing is that a lot of people get a bit frustrated when they're like, hey, when I was 25, I didn't have to do all this recovery stuff, or I could just push. And then around 30, 35, 40, 45, things start to change. And they can be a huge frustration point for people, but I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, but I was like, guys, accept it. Let's deal with it. And as my dad says, being healthy when you're older is almost like a part-time job. So
the one I'm missing is the stretching. Have you thought of some yin yoga during your relaxing day, or just some stretching? These are things, as old yoga instructor, is something I feel like when you're into a lot of go sports. Have you thought about the calm, rest, and Yeah,
definitely. No, it's good that you say that. Like I said, I'm still working on my recovery. Stretching is good. Most of the times, like there are 1,000 studies about it. Like what I mostly hear is after you really have your intense session, right away after, you shouldn't be stretching too much because then you are actually might even hurt your muscles instead of doing something good. And what, like I have to quote my favorite physio of all time here, shout out to Jana. Actually, heavy weight training, if you use the whole range of motion, is also part of your stretching routine.
Yes.
And but I fully agree with you that we should add some more yoga or stretching to that.
So that's exactly what my coach says as well. He's like full range of motion strength training, and I'm like, bro, it's not. But it is like it's way better. That obviously you want to use the whole muscle range, but it's so different to yin yoga and actually letting the body just calm down. But
And also the mind, eh?
yeah. So, but also my trainer Phil, he doesn't like yoga.
Yeah, I think
himself,
actually,
I think.
I think actually maybe we want to make a difference here. So I think if you do strength training, do it in the whole range of motion.
Absolutely.
And with heavy weights,
totally.
so then you have a stretching effect as well. And if you go into recovery mode, let your mind calm down as well and do the yin yoga session.
But also, I think what a lot of happens all the time happens when you're a trainer is then you get to the point where you're actually having to prioritize sessions. So do I prioritize now a relaxation yin yoga, or do I prioritize my strength training at a range of motion? And these can be, because there's only limited time in the day, right? So how many, so what would you say the ideal number of sessions to run per week for, let's say, not a beginner, so someone who's run a bit more but hasn't really run in a bit, asking for a friend.
So I think what is most interesting about it, like let's say, I know that's already a lot, but let's say you do 4 sessions in a week.
Yeah, it is a lot.
It is a lot.
I have a job.
But the most important thing is actually that you do up to, I don't know, 70-80% of them in zone 2. So you shouldn't be pushing yourself as much to build your base cardio. Yeah. So you just want to get the body like to absorb all those oxygen and to prepare everything. So on that Grundlagenausdauer.
Wow.
Sorry, German is something just more helpful.
Cardiovascular base.
Exactly. And then you just spice it up with the tempo sessions. But what I see most...
On a Tuesday evening.
Exactly, on a Tuesday evening with us. Fortuna Bütchen, 7 Uhr.
There it is. But really, four sessions, and then how much?
And then you spice it up with a tempo interval or something.
But like, so just again asking for a friend here, but 4 sessions a week, plus like I would be trying to hit the gym 3 to 4 times as well.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's 8 sessions.
That's a lot.
Giving me some yin yoga in there as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but where's the and I want to.
And I think that's where most runners have a thing, you know, because you don't want to skip on your run plan. But that is basically like a whole new mission to make it a more holistic sport where you don't see strength training as a separate part, but actually included in your whole running plan.
Could you run like if? But could you do strength training and then do a run afterwards?
Afterwards, yes. Before not really. Because on the strength training, we really want to not have it like a half-hearted exercise. You want to push it. You want to get those muscles working. And if you are tired when you go into the exercise, like I said, you have heavy weights on. You want to prepare yourself like it is when your body is in interval sessions. So if you tire your body beforehand, it's actually not as strong as it could
and
be.
I think that this is where it's all so important that people really take a moment to think about what is their goal, what is their purpose in doing this activity, what's the reason for it. Because I think it's also like you don't want to get just swept up in like, because when someone says to me how I'm doing an Ironman, that's awesome. Now why? So if it's really aligned with your values and your vision and your goals, do it, but it is going to take sacrifice. And so I think it's important that people define their goals. Is your goal to be a person that can do a marathon in under 4 hours, 3 hours, 2.5 hours, whatever? Or is it to have a balanced body with a whole variety of things? So it's I think defining those goals, and sometimes the goals go in the direction of performance. I want to be super fast or long or whatever, or longevity in life or quality of life. And they can be quite different. I think at a point they're the same, and then at some point they become quite diverging topics. Yeah. Do you see that in running a lot?
Oh yeah. So basically in the last couple of years you see a great trend with running. So everybody starts running and everybody signs up for a marathon or half marathon or an Ironman because it's kind of like the trend. And that is nice. And I support everybody who comes up to me and says like, I want to join that competition. How can you help me? Or what can I do to the best of my knowledge? But the thing is, and that's basically what you said, that is more than just the training. That is more than just like getting on the track and doing these workouts, you have to take care of your recovery, of your nutrition. It's basically a full-time job to achieve that.
Yeah,
and people just have to be aware of that this is actually lots of impact on the body.
And I don't know the stat from marathons, but I did hear it from Ironmans, which is, and I've always bring this in practice of like, if someone's doing an Ironman, hey, do you know when the most common time to be injured is? And some people will say like, oh, I don't know, the week before the race, or on the race day in the run at the end or whatever. But the article I was reading was talking about how most injuries occur in the first 6 months after the Ironman. Because there's been such a training process which has caused those micro traumas or even traumas. You've had your performance race where you've absolutely pushed to max, cardiovascular but also physically. Yeah. And then in your mind you have, well, I used to be able to just do like this much at this time at this speed. Now I'm doing less, but it's whatever, and so you push a bit more as well. And so really getting the body to do a full recovery is key as well. So.
Yeah, and that's super interesting. I remember we talked about that last year after I did my relay race throughout France. That was 2 days.
How many kilometers did you guys run?
86, like for myself, but overall 400 something.
400, great.
Yeah, so it was six.
That wasn't
in
a car. Yeah. That was on a bicycle, right?
No, it was running. It was running.
Yeah,
okay. So we didn't sleep for 2 days. Yeah. We had lots of impact on the body. Like now, all the chiropractors are just like, oh my God, what did you do?
Did you say 87 kilometers?
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly. So, and I remember you told me afterwards, well, that will take probably 6 weeks for your body to fully recover. And I just stared at you like, no way. No way I'm going to stop my training.
I think you said I've got a 20-kilometer run next week or something. Yeah. And I was like, cool. Awesome.
Yeah, no, and that is, again, what I mean by awareness. Like, back in the days, I was like, oh, no way. Like, look at most of the people who just did their marathon. Yeah. And they get into running less than a week later. Yeah. Like to have a week of recovery is for most of the people I know already like, oh my God, I stopped for so long. Yeah. And it's kind of funny because actually it's not as long for your body, but you feel it's been forever.
Yeah, and I think maybe out of this whole podcast, and maybe not even the podcast, but just one of the biggest things we're trying to encourage people to do at Kiwi Chiropractic is, guys, let's get in touch with your own body, know who you are, and work out for you where your grenze, your boundaries are as it comes in. But any final words from anyone in the podcast?
Excited to run again.
Yeah, so if people want to catch up with Jasmina, that is on Tuesday evenings at the Fortuna Butchen in Düsseldorf. What's Butchen in English?
I don't know.
Neighborhood?
No, dairy?
Huh?
Kiosk?
Yeah, kiosk. Yeah, but that's a German word as well, isn't it?
I think we would say dairy.
Dairy?
Don't worry.
Where do you say that?
It's like the corner dairy, the corner shop.
I've never heard that.
No. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. But see you guys there. Thanks for listening. Give us a like, a thumbs up, a share, and all that stuff. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thanks.